we don't really have that. But in golf, I feel like there's just so much more money to be made from the amateur player. So for poker, you have to get people to literally go to your room. You have to run your room, which is a high cost thing to do, right? You need licenses, you need dealers, you need space, you need rent. But in golf, you're selling clubs, you're selling gloves, you're selling equipment, you're selling clothes, you're selling just
Yeah.
just like lifestyle wear
Yeah.
shirts, and people have been
Um,
trying that with run good gear and stuff, but like I just feel like we're at a huge
yeah.
disadvantage for those kinds of
So
businesses.
actually, that Dustin tweet is my main point that I've been making for over a year, and I do think that that's actually the silver bullet. It's we need spectators.
Yeah,
That's all it is we
that
need
that's
spectators.
that
The
is
advertisers,
that is another half,
advertisers will
sure.
come. Advertisers will come if spectators come, and that's it. They're the ones who will buy golf clubs. They were the ones who will buy run good gear, right? There's only finite set of poker players, and this is a very price sensitive set of people who don't really tend to buy things. Like just walk past all those kiosks at WSOP all the time, not buying anything.
Right.
So you need spectators to come, and that's when they'll come. Because back then, that was why WSOP was on ESPN. That's why they had Jackson Beef Jerky, and it wasn't the sites were like cheating people making money. They were just making a shit ton of rate because they were running internationally, like every state in the United States, all these countries, all across the world, all mixed into the same player pools, running like $1 million for first place tournament every single freaking Sunday at Full Tilt and Poker Stars, right? That's how big it was back then. They were making so much money, and this is why all those sponsors came because it was just humongous.
Now, the trick though is, was it ESPN that benefited from it, or was it ESPN that created that whole audience, right? Because I think that part of Dustin's post, and I think I'm kind of leaning on the side of that content for that World Series that we all loved and that we all watched, and that created such a big kind of awareness of it in America. I have no idea how they did that. They had so much coverage and so many stories from the people who were playing so deep into that event. Did they just suddenly on day 6 say, "All right, we're gonna get tons of foot. You need to pretend like it's day 2. We're gonna interview you. You need to pretend like it's day 3." Or did they like somehow grab like 100 people that they thought might make it and interview them each day? Like how did they even do that? The cost of that and the cost of stuff that hit the cutting room
Yeah.
floor, and then the stories they were able to create as a result. It was so unique to our space, and those stories, I really do agree. That's what we should be doing. That's the stories we should be telling. But then I think we're always going to get back to this problem that poker is just boring to watch. So if we bring those people in, they're never going to watch the live stream event. They're never going to watch. We
Yeah, so
can't
that's
make
why
that
it worked so
table.
well in the heyday because they
Yeah,
were all like curated episodes and
right,
it
right.
wasn't like an 8 hour stream, which is kind of where we went. And this is a lot of stuff I've been talking about. Same thing, right?